So let's look at how we can do a single sample t-test in Excel. We're trying to answer the question, has the Sunday school grown? We know that last year the average was 20, so that's going to be the population mean. And we've got data on 4 Sundays. And we want to find out if that has grown. Now, it's interesting because we don't have any information on the standard deviation. We don't know if that 20 went over the place from 10 to 30, or if it was always like in the 18 to 22 range, something like that. What we're going to do is we're going to use this a single sample test to work around that limitation, and we're going to have some interesting results here. Now, the hypothesis is that the Sunday school has grown. So that's a one-tailed test, and because we're not trying to publish in a scientific journal, we're just trying to figure out, hey, can we be pretty sure that it's grown? We're going to use alpha equals 0.10 rather than 0.05. That means there's a 10% chance that we're going to reject the null hypothesis and believe our main hypothesis. We're going to do that about 10% of the time if we keep doing this, whereas with alpha equals 0.05, we'd only do that 5% of the time. Now, the Data Analysis Toolpak doesn't have a single sample t-test in Excel. So what we have to do is we're going to have to use the paired two-sample t-test again. And we're going to, for the other sample, we're going to put in the population. So I'm going to type in population here. Let me make that column a little bit bigger. And each week we're going to compare it to the population. So I'm going to put 20. I'm just going to drag that all the way down, 20 each week. And now we're going to treat this as two different samples. So we're going to have data analysis, and we're going to do the t-test paired two sample for means, and I press OK. And the first variable is going to be attendance. So I click on attendance, do Control-Shift down, select that. I'm going to go into the second variable range, clear that. I'm going to click on population, Control-Shift down, collect that whole column. The hypothesized mean difference is 0. We always do that for t-test. We've got labels in the first row, and our alpha, rather than being 0.10 or 0.05, it's going to be 0.1. So that's different than usual. And I'm going to put this in cell E7 there. So now I click OK. I get a lot of data. Let's get rid of the decimal point, home, and change it to number format. Let's make this one column bigger. And sure enough, we have the mean of 24. Those 4 Sundays, the average is 24, so it's higher than the 20. And we've got the variance is 18. Now I could take the square root of that to get the standard deviation if I wanted to, but we're reporting this to a Sunday school class, so I'm not going to do that. We've got 4 observations, and then we've got our degrees of freedom are 3, our t-stat is 1.85, and our p is 0.08, which is what we were hoping for, because we had the alpha is 0.10, so 0.08 is less than 0.10. And we can see here that our T critical was 1.64, and we got something bigger than that, 1.85. So we can reject the null hypothesis that there's no difference, and we find evidence for our main hypothesis that the Sunday school has grown. And let me put in a APA formatted response. We can say the average attendance in the fall of the Sunday school class after 4 Sundays was 24.00, which was higher than last year's average of 20.00. Now that's all that most people would want to know and say, oh yeah, it's grown. But we know that even if it hadn't grown, there's going to be variation in the numbers. So we want to do the t-test to say, oh, did that grow too much for us to think that it just happened by chance? With alpha equals 0.10, so that was our criteria for determining if something was too bizarre to happen by chance, this difference was significant. T, with 3 degrees of freedom, equals 1.85, P equals 0.08, and I should probably add that this was a one-tailed test. One-tailed. Oh, got that in italics somehow. Let me take it out of italics. All right. So that's how we can report this.